Hello, thank you for joining me. Today I'll be talking about black natural structure. I believe that if you know how your structure is like, it will be easy for you to understand and be able to care or maintain this beautiful hair that we have. First of all, if you have black African hair, you know that it is actually more often said that it's difficult to work with. Well, that's one of the myths that is out there, that's saying that you can't work with your hair because it's hard to maintain. First of all, we have our hair. When it grows in a curly pattern or in a coil pattern, so which makes it as if it's hard to maintain, whereas it's not. And also making decisions on what combs to use, which products to use, is also essential in caring for this delicate, beautiful hair that we have. I've got, I'll be showing you exactly how the hair structure is like. I've got a few illustrations that I want you to go with me. Okay, here in this paper I have 4 different types of structures. First, I've got the straight structure. Then I have the coil. This is the coil. Then I have the tight coil. This is the tight coil. Then I have it's a tight coil or a tight curl. Let's say tight curl. And this one it's just a semi-tight or almost like an open curl. All of these strings that I have, from straight to the semi straight coil, is that they are all the same size. All of them are the same size. If you can see the straight one, you see the length of the straight one, and then the coil one, you see how short it is, and then the tight curl, see how also short, but it's a little bit more opener than the coil, and then the other one is more open. So this one is the main structure of the black African hair, the coil. So the coil, the more the hair grows, the more it coils down. So when it coils like this, then it makes it a little bit hard, not a little bit hard to it makes it hard to manage. Let's say you try to comb this by force, you wouldn't be able to, because it's coiled all the way to the tip. So it will be difficult for you to comb. So in order to make your hair manageable, you have to open this coil. This coil must be opened up. And then this one is also harder to manage, but not as hard as this coil. This one is even much easier to manage, the last end. So when you need to manage or to make sure that your hair is manageable, you need to open the coil up gently. The coil needs to be opened gently, as I'm going to be doing it now. Okay, as you can see, like I said before, the length of the 2 strings were the same length, as you can see. So now the coil is open, is the same size as the straight hair. So when you're thinking that your hair doesn't grow, that actually was not the truth. As you have seen in the illustration, the coil, if it grows, it coils even further. But that does not mean that the hair is short. It just means that it coils, it's the way your hair is structured. And once you open it up, it goes to the same length as your straight hair strand. So let's say now you've got a coil and you want it to be open. Normally the methods that are there in the market, it's the relaxer mask method. Most people would say a relaxer made my hair to grow. That's not the truth. All what the relaxer did, it opened, in fact it opened it went for your structure, and it made your hair structure to collapse, which gave it this longer length, of which it was that same length anyway. So relaxer doesn't grow hair, it just goes for your strength of your hair, makes it weaker and collapses it, and it looks as if it's grown, only to find out your hair has been long anyway. So it's the same as this structure. If you open it, make it straighter, maybe by drying or doing other things, it's also the same. It's also the same length as the first string. And same goes to the last one, the same length. So this was very essential for me to actually show you exactly how the black hair structure is like. As you have seen from the illustration, so now let's deal with the myths that are out there. Let's say, does black African hair grow long? The answer to that is yes, it does. As I've illustrated and you've seen the strings, that it's actually long. It's only the only difference is the curl pattern or the structure, how it grows, but it does grow long. And another myth is that is black hair hard to manage? It's actually a very, very bad hair to have. The answer to that, it's not hard at all, because the reason what makes it hard is because people don't understand the structure of their hair. If you don't understand how your hair pattern is like, it will be difficult for you to manage, to maintain it. For instance, when you need to comb your hair, if you don't understand how your pattern is like, you will want to comb your hair with brushes, as if you've got straight hair and you want your hair to be flowless when you run your comb through, and all of those things. That will make it harder to manage, and you'll feel like your hair is unmanageable, you just cannot work with it. But if you understand that your hair is a coil or a tight curl, so you need to work with it with care. So when you're combing and you encounter knots, you stop when you're using a comb. And the combs that you don't use brushes. You use the combs that are designed and suitable for your natural hair. For instance, this is one of the combs also, that is the best comb that you use when you have to comb your natural hair, when you try to unlock the ties or the knots when you are combing your hair. So you use that comb to work with your hair, and you see it. It actually be much even easier to work with. And when you are working with this hair, it's important that you work with this hair when it's highly moisturized or when it's wet. You don't work with it when it's dry, because it's going to be even causing even more pain when you're working with it. So it's all about understanding this type of hair. And also, when you're making decisions on buying products or products to use on your hair, to make even informed decisions, because this kind of hair that we have, it needs to be nurtured or nourished by products that have natural ingredients in them. In the coming videos, I will be also talking about good ingredients that you must look out for when you are buying a product. It is important to know what you need to use for your hair, and then in that way you will enjoy this hair, and you will be able to actually accept that our hair will never be straight. It is what it is. So we have to find ways of working with it and loving it at the same time. And in that way, it will take away the stress and all of this thing, wanting our hair to be flawless and all of that. But understanding that it is a beautiful hair, when we take care of it and do things that work for our hair, it actually will enhance our beauty. And another question that is a burning question people want to know is, plaiting my hair good? Is putting on braids good? Is putting on weaves good? So people want to know those questions, especially when you're dealing with our black African hair. Plaiting your hair is very good. Plaiting any black African hair is good, because it also helps in opening up the coil that we have. Because when your coil is open, it's easier to work with. It's easier to comb, it's easier to manage, it's easier to do all of those things. So plaiting is one of the processes that helps in opening up the coil. But when you plait, it is important, especially when you're using a fiber, it is important that you wash your hair after 2 weeks. You don't sit with your braids and you don't wash. Braids needs to be washed. After 2 weeks you need to wash your hair. And when you are doing the plait, it is important to speak to your beautician. They shouldn't pull your hair, because if you pull your hair, especially the hairline, when the braids are pulled, when your hair is pulled, you're actually damaging the root of your hair, and you're damaging your hairline, and you're damaging your scalp. So I know stylists, they say it's better, the style looks nicer if it's pulled, and if it's not pulled, it doesn't look nicer. But there are ways of doing it that the style still looks neat, but the hair is not pulled. So it's important. Plaiting is good, provided the hair is not pulled from the roots, or it's not pulled in such a way that you cannot actually turn your hair. Then you know your hair is pulled. You have to remove those braids with immediate effect. Otherwise, you're going to have after effects or hair loss when you remove the braids. And the importance of also making sure that when you plait, most of the time, use your own hair. But it's also good to use the fiber, but use your own hair. With the weave, is weave good for us, or is weave not good for us? It depends also. If your hair is plaited underneath and then you put on your weave, then which means that's a better way. But if you use the weave that is glued into your hair, then when you remove your hair you lose hair. So with anything that has got to do with plait, our hair loves it. Our hair loves plait, our hair loves all these different shapes and sizes that we can turn into, because it's allowed to do that. It's much stronger, and at the same time it's much flexible to adhere to those things, provided your hair is not pulled, or your hair is not when you finish making that style, you can actually be able to turn your hair. Then you know that the stylist has done the best work in your hair. I'll be continuing also with more on how to maintain natural hair, more tips on how to maintain this hair, and please join me for more videos, download them. There's more information, because I believe if we understand this beautiful hair that we have, it will be easier for us to maintain it, and it will be the best for us to make good decisions when we have to actually either relax or not relax. Then we're able to make informed decisions. You know exactly what you're doing when you're doing a certain style, and you know exactly what you're doing when you're doing another certain style. So thank you for joining me, and see you again on the next video.